Hello, everyone. Good day to you. And quickly, I just want to look at the idea of creation this afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. And if there's something that is so prominent and factual, is that modern science is unable to. Modern science is not an exact science when it comes to determining the age of the earth and where humanity stepped out from, where life came out from. But we've seen different theories and all that popping here and there, and then we often want to wonder, then what is correct? Yeah, seriously, it's a fact that modern science isn't an exact science when it comes to these kind of things. It's just that people kind of assume they are, but they aren't. If you see most of the things they say, there are a lot of assumptions placed there. Assuming this is this, assuming that is that. That is all the game that is being played, games of assumption. So it's not an exact science. So I want to go further and state this afternoon, morning, evening, that if we look deep into the context of things, and even science itself, science points at a much more younger heads, not a head that is billions of years old or millions of years old. That's it. But the evolutionists hardly pick up these kind of talks because facts showing that, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work along with what they already preconceive to be true or to be provable. So, but this morning, that isn't what we want to look at. We want to look at how does God view creation, and how long was creation, and how long could we say the earth is, and how long were the days of creation? Because if you read the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and mankind generally was at the beginning, not some years apart, at the beginning. So for people who plan to kind of relate the Bible to science or try to want to formulate the Bible to go in line with science, they come forward and say, oh, maybe each day mentioned in the Bible meant ages. So it's possible that a day represented a millions of years, millions, whatever of years and all that. So those are the deist theorists. They want to conform the Bible to this ideology or to kind of suit the ideas of the evolutionists to say the earth is millions and billions of years old. And so there are these other people who call themselves, they believe that the literal day gap theory. They believe that, yes, God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. But within the 6 days of creation, there were spaces in between. So on the one, it may have created this, and there were spaces in between before day 2. So there could be a million years space in between before day 2. But that's not what the Bible talks about. The Bible talks about something so different and so direct and literal as possible. In the first day, God created, light and darkness. What was light and darkness? And if you read Genesis very, very carefully, the Bible moves on to qualify what a day means. It says, and the evening and morning were the first day. So the qualitative nature of the length of a day was morning and evening. But how was God able to make these characteristics of morning and evening being the length of one day? Was because He created light and made a division in between. So that is how it has been in the Bible. That is how it will be in the Bible. But if we constantly try to let science determine how right the Bible is, we'll go a lot of ways wrong. So that is what I want to say today. We'll go a lot of ways wrong. Let me ask you this question. If you think that that passage shouldn't be taken so literally, tell me, how will science prove the birth of Jesus Christ? Modern science cannot prove that. If we do not look beyond the capacity of nature we see today, and that see that the creator of the world was someone who was beyond nature and time itself, then we'll go lots of ways wrong. We will just be beating around the bush. No physical force created nature. a supernatural force created nature. How could this be hard? If you want to prove the birth of Jesus Christ, could you prove it with modern day science? Nah, nada. None of it. It's never possible. Because Jesus Christ, Mary would have to conceive the natural way. But that is not what happened. If you want to prove science the way it is, prove the Bible in the ways of the science, can you prove the resurrection of Jesus Christ? I'm mentioning these things to tell you specifically, these are things that historically are 100% accurate. But can science ever prove it? No. So the Bible steps beyond that. God steps beyond the precepts of these things. And I've seen people go further and quote the book of 2 Peter that state that in the sight of God, 1 year is like 1,000 days, and 1,000 day. Sorry, 1 day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like 1 day in the eyes of God. Come on, that is not talking about the length of days in particular. All it was doing was talking about the eternal nature and the unlimited nature of the God we worship. The eternal nature of God we worship. That is what was being talked about there, not anything else. So when I see people go and say millions this, I look at them and be like, based on what? Based on lots of assumptions. But by faith, if you look at the Bible and you understand that, yes, the God that created the world is far beyond the concept of the world. He created the world in days, and he said these days were quantified in mornings and evenings. So, when I still meet those people, we easily get confirmed because we don't want to be the hotball in between a group. Oh, are you the one who still thinks this? There was one time somebody told me when I was talking about the Tower of Babel, and I said, oh, God changed the language of man. And it was like, guy, are you literally saying God changed the language of man? Is that possible? That passage, you're just looking at, you're just looking at the concept of God, people being divided, not the languages being changed. I was like, man, what is it you're reading? What is it you're reading? So let's read the Bible the way it is, the way it will be. So first, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 8, that talks about 1,000 days, 1,000 years, like 1 day. No, it talks about the eternal nature of God. So there are lots of things science cannot prove in the Bible. Okay? There are lots of things science cannot prove in the Bible. And the miracles and all that happened, that were stated historically as accurate, science cannot talk about them. It cannot explain them. That tells you the nature of the God we worship, the God who created the heavens and the earth, and the God who created life itself. Man has tried, but they can't do that. So, that is all I have to say at this moment. We'll look at more things together in the future in regards to God, the gospel, and things that often confuse people, that if we take the Bible the way it is and understand that there is the metaphysical, then it will be easy for us to understand. So the book of 2 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20 to 21 says this: keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called, with some professing I've heard concerning the faith. So the Bible who speaks about that, this kind of things will happen before here. So we should stop interesting ourselves with the babblings of things. No, we should be based on the factual concept of the Bible. The book of Romans chapter 10 verse 17 also speaks something so peculiar. The book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 19 also talks about something very peculiar as well. It says, nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his, and let everyone that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity. That is what you should be battling with today, to depart from iniquity and to embrace Christ for what he is, and not troubling yourself with vain babblings and people who are assuming this, assuming that from their corners of their existence. Nah, I worship the God who standeth sure. How about you? Be concerned about that. So, good day. See you next time.